Raider Nation, things are getting wild in Las Vegas. The Raiders are being urged to move on from a disgruntled star as this nightmare season drags on, and that's just the beginning. The team cut ties with a veteran QB and brought in a former first-round pick from Washington. Plus, there's talk about an $11 million starter being listed as a potential trade chip. And to top it off, Pete Carroll refuses to change his ways. All of this is shaking the silver and black faithful because what's coming next could define the future of this team. But before we break it all down, let me hit you real quick. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. It's free and it helps us keep this Raiders community strong. Smash that like button too, so YouTube spreads this conversation to more fans out there. And drop your thoughts below. This space belongs to everyone who bleeds silver and black. To be real with you, Raider Nation's patience is running out, and for good reason. When the team brought in Geno Smith, fans thought he'd finally steady the ship. But what started as hope turned into frustration fast. Interceptions, bad decisions, zero chemistry with his receivers, and worse, one of his top targets, Jacoby Myers, looks checked out. Reports from Raiders Wire say the vibe between Smith and Myers is ice cold. Even when rookie tight end Brock Bowers was out, Myers barely made a dent. 8 catches for 62 yards over 2 games. Smith keeps looking for Trey Tucker instead, and you can tell something's off. Now there's talk that Vegas could trade Myers before the deadline. Insider Justin Mello even said it might be the smartest move. Myers already asked for a trade in the offseason, wanting a new deal. He's about to turn 29, and given how ugly this season has been, it might not make sense to pay him big money. Pete Carroll didn't help his case either. After the loss to Indianapolis, he admitted he thought about benching Geno, but kept him in to get more reps. Fans are tired of hearing about reps. They want results. If Myers does get traded, the Raiders might only get a 4th or 5th round pick back, which sounds low, but for a pending free agent who's underperforming, that might be the best they can do. Some fans say keep him, others say cut ties and move on. Honestly, it feels like both sides are ready for a clean break. And if it happens, buckle up, because that move could open the door to a full-blown rebuild in Las Vegas. Drop your thoughts below. Would you keep Myers or ship him out? But hang tight, because the next move proves this shakeup is just getting started and a familiar veteran is packing his bags. What was supposed to be a minor roster tweak has turned into a full-on overhaul. The Raiders just released veteran quarterback Jeff Driscoll, and honestly, it's not a surprise. The guy barely had time to unpack in Vegas before getting cut. But that's not all. The team also brought in a new linebacker, and this move could change a lot behind the scenes. Pete Carroll is clearly rebuilding this roster from the ground up. He wants guys who buy in, who play for each other, no egos, and Driscoll didn't fit that mold. With Geno Smith, Kenny Pickett, and rookie Cam Miller already in the room, 4 quarterbacks was overkill. Driscoll was the odd man out. That opens a door for Miller to get more reps, which fits Carroll's plan. Build experience and save cap space where you can. The big addition, though, is linebacker Jamin Davis, a former first-round pick by Washington. He's starting on the practice squad, but could get bumped up soon. Carroll called him a player with real potential, and you can see what he means. Davis has the tools, over 100 tackles in a season, 8 career sacks, but he needs the right environment to thrive. Maybe Vegas is it. The Raiders also promoted John Radigan, another linebacker just signed off the Steelers practice squad. The dude's a special teams beast and plays like his hair's on fire. That's exactly the kind of energy Carroll keeps preaching about. Guys who want to be here, who play for the Shield. And the message is crystal clear. Nobody's job is safe. Carroll's making it known that if you don't perform, you're out. Every move feels like he's trying to reforge the team's identity. And speaking of identity, wait till you hear what's happening with one of the defense's highest paid players, because his future in Vegas is on the line. If there's one player who perfectly represents this chaotic season, it's pass rusher Malcolm Kuntz. Man, what a fall-off. After missing all of last year with a knee injury, he came back on an $11 million prove-it deal, ready to show he's still a cornerstone. But through 5 games, the production just isn't there. 1 sack, 1. This was supposed to be the guy pairing with Max Crosby to terrorize quarterbacks, and instead, he's been a ghost. Raider Nation is split. Some say he just needs time to get back in rhythm. Others think he's another overpaid gamble gone wrong. USA Today even listed him as a potential trade candidate, and honestly, that makes sense. His PFF grade ranks 148th out of 169 pass rushers. Brutal. The only silver lining? His pressure rate is 12.5%, close to names like Montez Sweat and Bradley Chubb. So he's getting there, but not finishing plays. and with only a one-year deal, he's a cheap, low-risk target for playoff contenders who need depth. On the Raiders side, Carroll and GM John Spytek are clearly thinking long-term. They want players who fit their system, who are producing now. If Kunze doesn't step up soon, he could easily become trade bait for more draft capital. It's tough because fans wanted him to be that homegrown success story, a guy drafted by Vegas who blossomed into a key piece. But the NFL doesn't wait. You deliver or you're gone. And if you think that's harsh, the next chapter shows Carroll's not just moving players, he's changing the entire locker room culture. Things are moving fast in Vegas, and Carroll's message is simple. If you're not all in, you're out. The team made more roster changes ahead of the Titans game, and you can feel the urgency. John Radigan, the linebacker just signed off Pittsburgh's practice squad, is already being activated for Sunday. He barely landed in Vegas, and he's suiting up. That's how desperate Carroll is to find guys who care. Radigan's known for his relentless motor and special teams grit. He's the type who might not fill a stat sheet but sets the tone in the locker room. Alongside him, the Raiders also added linebacker Jamin Davis, the former first-rounder out of Kentucky, to the practice squad. The guy's 6'4", 234 pounds, and has real production. Over 280 career tackles, 8 sacks, and a couple of turnovers forced. Carroll praised his potential and made it clear he wants to see what Davis can bring. Meanwhile, to make room, veteran QB Jeff Driscoll was cut. With Geno Smith, Kenny Pickett, and rookie Cam Miller around, keeping a fourth QB didn't make sense. This move tells us two things. Geno still has Carroll's trust, for now, and the coach is looking ahead, not clinging to stopgaps. It's the classic rebuild formula. Trim the fat, give young players reps, and find out who's got the heart to wear silver and black. But what's next proves something bigger. Carroll's doubling down on his way of doing things, and not everyone in Raider Nation is thrilled about it. Through all this chaos, one thing's clear. Pete Carroll isn't changing. And depending on who you ask, that's either confidence or stubbornness. The oldest coach in the NFL still believes in his process, even as the team struggles and fans grow restless. After the loss to the Colts, Carroll explained his approach. Get the young guys on the field early, let them make mistakes, and build them up through reps. By mid-season, he said, they'll be ready to contribute. Sounds great in theory, but when you're 1-4, fans don't want theory, they want wins. 2 rookie defensive linemen played limited snaps last week, and Carroll seemed encouraged. But fans don't want encouraged, they want progress. Inside the locker room, veteran linebacker Devin White spoke up. He said the team needs accountability, unity, and self-reflection. I look in the mirror first, he said, then I help others. That's leadership, and it's exactly what Carroll's betting on. He wants the vets to lift the young guys, to build a culture that can actually last. The problem? Time's running out. If results don't come soon, this whole experiment could implode, but if it works, maybe this painful stretch becomes the foundation for something real. The passion of Raider Nation is endless, but their patience isn't. Carroll's got a few weeks to reignite that fire. The next step, it could decide the entire season. At the end of the day, this is a team rebuilding both emotionally and physically. Players are being traded, veterans are being cut, young guys are stepping up, and Carroll's sticking to his philosophy no matter what. It might sound crazy, but maybe this is exactly what it takes to rediscover the identity that's been missing since the move from Oakland. Raider Nation's hurting, but they still believe. Drop your thoughts below, because this community belongs to everyone who lives and breathes silver and black. And stay tuned, because just when you think you've seen it all, another bombshell drops straight out of Las Vegas.